What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I am Craig, and we're going to go over a couple things in the charts today. First of all, I want to talk about when a market crashes and confidence is lost in a market, how long it takes to build that confidence back, just in case we are truly in a multi-year bear market, like I believe is a very good possibility. Also, we're going to talk about the price action as of right now. We're going to talk about 3 black crows. I'm going to show you back on the monthly when I showed you 3 black crows, what happened. Then I'm going to show you where we're at now in the 4 hour. We're going to take a look at that, kind of figure out what's going on in the market. So stick around, should be a good video. Let's take a look at the pre-markets. As of right now, the Dow futures are down 459. S&P futures down 51, or they're up 51.25. NASDAQ down 247. What does this mean for the markets? Let's take a look. So as you guys know, this is the Dow Jones chart right here. Let's go into, I don't know why it's on the 4-day. Let's go into the daily. So this is what we've been talking about right here. This is our major resistance, which was our old target. Let me put it in there just so you guys know. I don't know why it left there, but around 30,778 points roughly. But right now, this is our resistance. So we talked about if we get a open and close below there, which we did, could be very bearish. I'd like to see another daily open and close below to confirm that we do have more downside. As you guys know, my target for that is around 26.4. That could be pretty damn devastating for the market. So just be cautious and be careful today. Obviously, the market's been doing some crazy stuff, but these are the points we're looking for. This really doesn't matter till the open and close is done of today's market. So let's watch that 30,700 range. Now, this is the Dow Jones, the Great Depression stage. This is what I wanted to talk about real quick. How long, once a market loses confidence, does it take to recover? That's why I don't think that everybody thinks that we're going to have this big bounce and recovery and it's going to go to the moon. I don't think that's what's going to happen, and I'll explain why. So you'll see back here in the Great Depression, let me move it over so you can see, this was about a two and a half year drop, and it was a pretty massive drop. And it does seem like we are forming the same formation as we did back here. So that's just something to be very cautious about. Now let's run through this. As you can see, after the drop, the bottom was in 1932 in June. And let's see how long it took to break that. Let's put a line up top and see how long it took to break that high, the old all-time high. So for the markets to recover took right here, it was 1954. So 22 years before it broke that high again. All confidence was lost in the market, so it took a long time to build itself back up. If you'd have bought down here, you done great. But if you were holding up here, 32 years, that's a long time to wait. Anyways, let's look at, here's another example. So this is MicroStrategy. I had warned you guys when he bought in that it was going to be bad for Bitcoin, and you can see what's happening. But as you can see, when his last high, which he never reached again, because all confidence was lost, and then he found a overhyped market to go into and make everyone think he was some kind of hero, to get him to pump his stock, which he probably dumped his own stock on everybody. I'm sure that's probably what he did back here too, and then bought back the bottom, waited for an opportunity like Bitcoin to get his stock pumped again so he could dump more. So he probably dumped up here, bought down here all this time, and then dumped his again that he bought for cheap again. So anyways, look how long it took MicroStrategy from 2000 all the way till, well, till it started to actually pump again. It didn't, obviously never reached its all-time highs, but around 20 years. Let's take a look at the DXY now, just see what's going on here. So we've been talking about this. There is a possibility we come back down and test this range if this does hold and bounce up. Like I've been saying, a break and support on top of this will be a definite sign of more downside for the markets. It's still looking pretty bullish to me, guys. I like I said, it could do a, it could go down as low as a 55 EMA at 104. But regardless, once we break this top here, it's going to be bad for all markets, in my opinion. Let's look at the long-term structure for Bitcoin. I do believe this could be an Elliott wave count of wave 1 all the way back here, wave 2, wave 3. This is a monthly chart. Wave 4 and wave 5 is finished. We are actually in our first bear market, looking at this whole thing as one giant market. And what people were calling bear markets were just corrections in the big picture. So just be cautious, be careful there, guys. I also want to talk about the Amazon to Bitcoin comparison chart. This took about the same, about 2 years to fall down, which matches up with what could be happening in all markets. That's why I always say if you're following someone that just looks at Bitcoin, they're doing it wrong because all these markets are correlated. So anyways, if we were to do the same drop, that would get us down to the 37.20 range. As you guys know, I think the bottom, in my opinion, is going to be between 3,000 and 7,000. I have targets for both, and I show you why. This one, obviously, is because this correction was 90%. If we did the same here, it would get us down to about 37.20. And I've showed in past videos, if you look at the 8-hour chart, there's gaps down there. So it's definitely a possibility. Usually in this range, we get rallies up. You know, we always get that. Nothing goes straight down. You can see all the choppiness here. This is the weekly chart on both. We could start seeing the same type of thing here. I'm going to give you my targets, so make sure you stick around. We're also going to look at the Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, gold, and silver charts. All those charts are the charts I've been looking at for 6 months or more. I have not changed the charts. Oh, before I forget, make sure you guys scroll down, smash them thumbs up. Also, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. And if we get 1,500 likes, I will do a live stream tonight and go over whatever charts you guys want. As a matter of fact, if you want to leave down which charts you'd like to look at, whether it be regular stocks, altcoins, or whatever, leave that in your comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want daily updates, and tick that notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Also, if you like these videos, make sure you share them, get them out there. We have pretty much called this whole thing. Everybody had called me crazy. So far, targets are hitting beautifully. As you guys know, I called the top back here at 64,000. And obviously, this is what happened. I told you look for a pump, a bull trap, a ABC correction starting around the middle of June. You can go back and check my videos. And that's exactly what we got. I didn't think it would break the high, but obviously it did. But we still... You know, the formation is the formation. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at there. This is my lowest target is around 37.20. Not to say it can't go lower, but I still, like I said, I have a target around 6,800, 7,000 range also. Let's take a look at the weekly. Once we broke this, as you guys know, if you watch the channel, we watched this sell signal right here when the 8, the 13, and the 21 EMA crossed the 25, said that was a weekly sell signal, and you could see exactly what happened after that. We broke below the 200 EMA. I would consider this major resistance for the weekly, and that's around 27,000. Now, if on the weekly chart, that doesn't mean in the near future. If on the weekly chart it breaks back above this and gets support, the highest I see this being able to go before I would start to even consider getting bullish would be about 36,000, which would be the bottom of this rising channel here. But let's look at the monthly. If you guys were watching my videos back then, when we had these 3 red candles, which are 3 black crows, which is a trend reversal, you guys seen what happened after that. We got a little pump up and then continuation to the downside. That was the top of the trend. As you can see right now, we got, after that little pump up, it looks like, let's see how the monthly closes, but it looks like another 3 black crows right here. So does that mean that we could go down to that 17.7 range? That is still my target. And then maybe pop back up into here like we did here, have a couple months of upside before more continuation to the downside. As you guys know, I think the low is possibly going to be in sometime in 2023. And that's from looking at past charts and all that, and the Amazon to Bitcoin bubble, .com bubble, which Bitcoin or Bitcoin bubble is what I think we're seeing right now. And another thing, everybody says we're so oversold on the RSI. If you look at the monthly, we have plenty of room to go to the downside. We also had this major, and this is on the monthly, major hidden bearish divergence. right here, that is not a good sign. So in the macro. Now, here's one more macro chart before we get into those smaller time frames. As you guys know, these are my fib channels in here. Each time we break one of these, we almost always come down pretty quick to the next one. If we were to do that here, like I said, I'm looking at that 17.7 area. If that does break, I think we come down to test this fib. And then, like I said, 2023 is a long time from now, so we could bounce around this area before coming down to our next fib level. And if we did in, mid 2023 ish, would be around the $6,000 range. So something we're going to be keeping an eye on. And that would be a 90% drop from the top. So it makes a lot of sense. Also, let's take a look at the daily. So this is what I was talking about when we called the top. We were about right here, right around the 54,000. I said, look for a drop at 64, which we got. And then once we had this rally back up, we were looking at this as wave 2 for the Elliott wave count. We had a target perfectly down to around the 30,000 range. And then wave 4, this was all drawn right here. And then we have wave 5 down. I thought wave 5 would go a little bit further, but in EW rules, wave 5 only has to break wave 4, which it did. And then we had our ABC correction up that we were expecting, and boom, then this. So now let's take a look at what happened after that. We had this rising broadening wedge. We took a measured move of that, and you measure the widest point of the wedge. You bring it down to where it broke, and that was back in December. As you guys know, that's when I came out with my Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart on December 2nd. If you go to my YouTube page, it pops right up. I also have some tutorials there you guys might want to check out. It's free. I don't sell anything other than my wife's webpage, inkourimage.com. The link's down below. Check that out. But anyways, we had the target of 24.3, right? So I had said if we get below this, that should become our new resistance, which I think it will. And once we break this, we'll go into the 4 hour and look at where we could be headed. But the next area I was looking for is if we take a measured move from the break of this trend, consider this the bear flag or the flagpole, this being the bear flag, the break of that bear flag, that gets us down to that 6,800, 7,000 range. Before we get into smaller time frames, if you guys are interested in trading, definitely check out PrimeXBT, by far my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you like the scam exchanges. You can trade altcoins, Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, all that, all from one exchange. Also, you can trade pre-markets on here, and it's no extra cost like a lot of exchanges are to trade pre-markets. But scroll down below, you'll see the link to PrimeXBT down there. You can use my promo code SAVVY50 will get you 50% on top of whatever, or actually, I'm sorry, SAVVY50 will get you up to a $7,000 bonus. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. Also, you can trade in the contest section for totally free for no risk if you want to get used to the platform, learn how to trade. Great place to do it. All right, so the 4 hour, same thing, the same targets I showed you before. Although we have a 17.7 target here, and that is looking at this. Once we broke out of this bear flag, we bring this up to here. Looking at this as a flagpole, bringing it down, that gets us that 17.7. And we talked about if we broke this 24.2, that 17.7 would be our next target. There's nothing saying we can't come back up and test this range again. If we do and get rejected, then we come back down to this side. But nevertheless, unless we break this 24.2, I'm looking for this 17.7. If the 24.2 breaks, we can come up and retest this trend line, and it's going to be around the 26.5 range. So these are the areas to be watching, in my opinion. And like I said, if we look at this big bear flag here, if the 17.7 breaks, I'm looking for 72 to 6,800. Them are my first bear market targets. Like I said, this could take 6 more months to get down to these ranges. Like I said, once I called this one here back in the daily, everybody was calling me crazy and then called me wrong on every little pump. We'll probably see that again. So anyways, that's what I'm looking for there. Now, what I was talking about, the 3 black crows, we can look at this in the 4 hour also. So as you guys can see, look at the last time we seen 3 black crows right here. After this little rally, we had our 3 black crows in the 4 hour, and then you can see what happened. This one closed at 25.5. We got a little pump up to 26.2 and then continuation all the way down to 20. Everybody's talking about 20 being the absolute bottom because Bitcoin never goes past its last all-time high. Well, I showed you in the macro that I think this was all one big bull market. And now we are being in our first bear market. That is my opinion still. But if you look here, we just made that little pump up. 3 black crows. What happens after 3 black crows? Much more downside. So that 17.7 is going to be my target. Now, like I said, that doesn't have to hold. If it does break below that, that becomes the new resistance. We'll talk about that then. Make sure you guys give me a follow on. It's at CryptoSavvy1 on Twitter. I don't know what's going on with my brain this morning. It's not working real well. But anyways, this is what I'm looking at. Let's take a look at our Ethereum charts. As you guys know, all our targets hit, became resistance. The new resistance is 1564. If it even gets up to that range again. And our target is still the target of this bear flag at, once we broke here, we had this target 680. I do think we can go much lower than that. So be cautious if we are truly in a bear market. We could definitely go much, much lower. Same thing with Ethereum. And guys, these charts are like 6 months old with these targets. You can go back and check my videos. Once we broke this rising broadening wedge, our target is 25, 24 area. Again, we can go much, much lower if we are truly in a multi-year bear market. And I do think that the Amazon to Bitcoin bubble, like I showed you, and when Amazon happened and that .com crash, that got rid of all the .com scams. I've been warning of this for a long time about getting rid of all the crypto scams, and it has started. We've seen Luna, we're seeing Celsius, BlockFi's next, so on and so forth. I think a lot more are going to get crushed, guys. So be careful, man. Anyways, XRP, all our targets hit there too. My next target is 28. We almost hit it. When that breaks, I think 17. And like I said, if we're in a multi-year bear market, look for much, much lower, possibly 2, 3, 4 cents. Who knows? Gold. As you guys know, I said anytime we are still below this channel, which we are, everything is still bearish. My target for gold has been for a year now, 1561. I'm still looking for that area. And silver, our support is at 20. Once that 20 breaks, I'm looking for the 15.5, possibly much, much lower. Yeah, possibly much, much lower, guys. So anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget, smash some thumbs up. That really helps the channel out. Also, leave your comments down below. Like I said, if we get 1,500 likes, leave down there what stocks or crypto you'd like me to chart on the live stream. As long as we get 1,500, I will do it. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that thumbs up, and tick your notification bells to get you notified when I post new videos. Thanks, guys. I'm out.